There we go. Wow, I haven't seen a chat with 0 people in it in a while. Probably because this time I didn't announce it. So all you ghosts here watching, you're the first. We'll see. We'll see who comes in. Normally I announce these streams. Anyone watching this right now is only watching it on a repeat. There are literally 0 people watching. So you're all watching it on loop. But it's good to have you here at the very beginning of the stream. And remember to make a comment to say, I was here at the beginning where Billy shared all those secrets. And then YouTube cut it off and didn't share it in the video. You can say something like that to make other people watching later confused. Or like later in the chat be like, hey, thanks for sharing that super cool secret with us later. In the beginning, you can say that later to people who show up late. And then they'll be like, what? What did I miss? They'll be like, oh, it was only for the people who were waiting when I first started. Hey everyone. Let's see who's here. I see a couple green people, a few people I recognize, a few new people I haven't seen. Keith, welcome. It's Kai. How did you know I was currently studying? Because you set your alarm in the basement. It's your only way of telling whether it's night or day, is you set a alarm for when Billy starts streaming. That way, when it goes off, you know, oh, it must be 10 a.m. in Korea because Billy's doing a stream. That kind of gives you your bearings. So you can adjust your sleep schedule to that. Hey, Cameron. I'm only here to see if we'll finally meet Charsu. Well, Charsu, last time I saw him, he was actually in near Gwanghwamun. There's the plaza outside of Gwanghwamun, and they had a statue of Charsu as well as Youngie for the jump rope thing from Squid Game. But that was the only time I've ever seen him in Korea. Besides that, it's just, you know, photos here and there. Where am I going live from? So I thought, you know, it's my last, I can't talk. It's my last stream from Korea. It is really bright suddenly. It was not this bright when I just came here like 3 minutes ago. It's my last stream from Korea. And I thought, you know, I should take everyone to a place that I've never been before. I've never shown you before. In fact, you probably don't even know it exists. And that is Suwon Fortress. If you know, you know. Yeah. It's a fortress. It was erected in Korea. I wish I could give you a history lesson on it, but I really am. I'm pretty dumb when it comes to it. Like, I know really basic stuff. But it's, of course, like pretty much everything you'll see in Korea, all the older buildings, recreation. However, I really like Suwon Fortress for, besides a lot of other places being cool too, despite being recreation. This recreation was reconstructed the most faithfully to the original. Why? Because they actually had all the blueprints and plans still when they reconstructed it, which I think is cool. I like looking at how something would have looked exactly when it was built. And in fact, they still do restoration all the time. I don't know if we'll see any today, but usually when I come here, there will be some scaffolding and people will do restoration. It takes a long time because they do the restoration back to how it was again every time. But like you can see the construction methods they use. It's not like, they don't like, you know, make these perfect, like exact, like modern bricks and stuff like that. They try to do it with the original materials, with the original general shapes and stuff like that they would have used, which I think is really cool. So I'm just going to be walking around here and we're going to be chatting and I'll take some Korean questions. Keith, never heard of it. Yeah, it's called in Korean Suwon Hwasong, which is the same word for Mars actually. Hwasong is also Mars. And it is hot now. It was actually raining. Like the weather report, JoJo reference, said it's going to be raining all week, including yesterday and the day before. And it actually did rain the first day that it said it was going to rain. It poured a ton for the first time this year that I can remember, at least since I've been here. For the first time this summer, I'll say, it actually legitimately rained for a day. So I thought, oh, it's rainy season now. It's going to be raining every day. Weather report says it's raining all week and next week. Yesterday too, it said it's going to rain all day. Nah, didn't rain. Maybe like a couple sprinkles. Today originally said it was going to rain. Woke up this morning, sunny, bright and sunny. I hate the Korean weather reports. They're so bad. They're so bad. They say it's gonna rain. I think just so that they don't look bad when it doesn't, when they say it doesn't rain and it will rain, right? Because that's always better. If you make plans for rain and it doesn't rain, then it's nice. But if you make plans for not raining and then it rains, you're gonna be mad at the weather report, right? So I think that's what they do is they usually lean on the side of, let's just say it's gonna rain because it might rain. Who knows? Pongnar boiled it away. Yeah. Funnily enough, Pongnar are the 3 hottest days, but they're not like actually recorded by temperature, but they're like traditionally the 3 hot days in Korea. They have Cho for the first, Jung for the middle, literally, Jungbok, and Mal for the last one. And so the day of Chobok was actually really funny. It's supposed to be like traditionally, according to the lunar calendar, it's like the hottest day of the year, the first hottest day of the year, and that was the nicest weather we ever had since like back in May. It was like 82 degrees. It was nice. It was like slightly cloudy. It was sunny. It wasn't even that humid. So I just thought that was really funny that the Chobok, the first hot day of the year, was the nicest weather we had the entire summer. Nice, nice. I am reading your comments. If you write a comment, I don't reply. I do read it. I just don't have time to reply to everyone. Let me see, who else did I miss? Cosma, hey Cosma. Okay, I will take a few questions though, since we're here at this brand new location I've never been to. I'm gonna explore it with you today a little bit. Oh my God, it is hot now. What is this weather? At least I wore sunblock on my arm. I just saw a question though. Someone asked, do you have any tips for memorizing sound rules? Yes. First tip is don't stress about them. I make sure that everyone knows they exist. I want everyone to be aware of them and to get all the rules written down, go through them once, do a little bit of practice. But at the same time, I would say do not ever stress about this. Don't wait until you've mastered them or feel comfortable with them before moving on. Don't even wait until you're okay with them. Like, the reason is sound change rules, Koreans mess up at. Native Korean speakers do not know all of the sound change rules perfectly. And you'll hear sometimes different pronunciations of words. Now, if you know sound change rules, then later when you hear someone pronounce something a different way, you'll know, like, oh, it's not the way they're supposed to say it. It's actually a bunch of people mispronouncing it. And there are some cases where there are commonly mispronounced words where I would say feel free to say it that way too, because most people say it. But you wouldn't know that unless you knew sound change rules. So learn them eventually. I would say by the time you're having full conversations in Korean, like legitimately in the intermediate level, that's when you want to make sure you are go back and do another review of the sound change rules. But besides that, do not stress about them. And you can just download my sound change rules cheat sheet. It has all of them on there, and keep that in your back pocket, but don't worry about it. Sorry, I'm squinting because it was nice and kind of warm when I left and when I arrived off the bus stop, and now it is extremely bright. I think there was a cloud. There are clouds everywhere. You can't see too well. There are clouds everywhere, except in this spot where I am. I think that's what it is. So I can see the shadows here are like really sharp in this area. I think just this area I am, the clouds opened up completely. That's why. Keith says that's just tomato. Yeah. But it's not quite like that. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's not just a regional difference though. It's actually people just all say it wrong sort of thing. But if everyone says it wrong, then is it really wrong? Yes, technically, but like don't do it on your essays and stuff. But no, I would say if everyone's saying it a certain way, then feel free to say it that way too. And there are a lot of exceptions like that, which is why I don't think you need to be stressing about sound change rules. They will help you a lot though. So when I hear someone pronounce something, a lot of words also have multiple pronunciations, like correct pronunciations. I'm not saying that people say it a different way, but technically also considered correct. And if you don't know sound change rules, you won't understand why that happens. And you'll just be learning 2 pronunciations for each time you hear a certain word, which is harder than just learning the rule, which you can apply in every case. Sometimes I hear speech using ga or ka ending. If it's just ga, that doesn't help too much because there are a couple forms it could be. It could be the suggestion form, like kada would be, oh, there we go, a little bit of shade. Like kada, like to go, would be like kaika or kaikayo, like that. But if it only ends in ka and you're sure it's not that form, that would be most likely the umnika, the question, the formal question form. So anytime you want to sound extra respectful, it's called formal speech, but I would say just extra respectful is the feeling it gives. So like hamnida would be hamnika. You just change ta to ka in that nida form. Probably that. Lauren says, I feel like sound change rules, they start to make sense and you don't need to memorize the rule. Yeah, that's the idea, is you don't want to be carrying around like, you don't want to be like carrying the sound change rules with you all the time and like referencing them while you're speaking or anything. The idea is this is just a reference of what things happen naturally, for the most part. And when you hear a lot of Korean, you practice speaking, a lot of stuff will just kind of feel right to you. Like you'll say a word and then you'll be like, wait, nah, that feels weird. Let me try it again. You'll say it again. Like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. But cicadas are really loud. Yeah, during the summertime, you hear a lot of cicadas. I went to the Science Museum in Daejeon with my kid and a friend the other week. And I learned that there are actually several different types of cicadas and they have a different sound, which I didn't know. Maybe that's obvious to you, but like the Korean ones, like the ones you'll hear in Japan or the ones you'll hear in Korea and the ones you'll hear in the US and the ones you'll hear like different versions of them, like they're different types of cicadas, and these ones I think were the ones that were memi, if I recall. Like they had a little speaker and like buttons and you can press and it would play the different types of cicada sounds. Normally the word is memi for cicada. I actually don't know how to say it because we don't have them in LA, or I never noticed them. Okay, I see another question from Pupachulo. Wonderful. What is the best way to practice speaking independently when you don't have any Korean speakers accessible? So by yourself, you have a few options. I'm not a fan of AI, but I feel like if you're at a really low level, I feel like if you're really like a beginner, it doesn't really matter so much what you're going to be doing for your listening, your reading, your writing, because you're not going to be able to understand like the full natural sentences anyway. So I think for a little bit of just practicing what you're learning, like, you know, basic grammar, a few sentences, you know, I think just using ChatGPT and turning on the audio version saying, hey, practice Korean, I'm a new beginner, is probably going to work fine. I wouldn't use it beyond that though. The best would be Real People, and you can find Real People through doing language exchange apps. Your mileage may vary on that. There are a lot of them, so I won't really recommend any specifically. They all have the same pros and cons. So there's HelloTalk, there's Tandem, there's some websites as well. But if you don't want to deal with that, then the best way is simply paying a tutor and telling them to fix everything that you say wrong. Because at the end of the day, you still need to be talking Korean with someone, whether that someone be a stupid robot that doesn't know Korean, or a real person who's your friend, or a real person who you pay to be your friend, like a tutor. You still need to get practice. You actually need to be speaking. There are some other tips I've heard, like you can use Korean throughout your day, like waking up and 지금 양치하고 있어요. You know, I'm brushing my teeth, or 샤워하러 갈 거예요. Like I'm gonna go take a shower. Like you can do that kind of thing too, but that'll depend on you. If you don't feel too awkward doing that, then you can talk out loud to yourself throughout the day. It does help, because in the very beginning, what you really need is just your mouth getting used to moving around like that. So yeah, any of those. Trying to get back to somewhere shady. Okay, that's a little bit better now. I can feel it just cool down a bit. Or a cat. Yeah, you could talk to your cat. Your cat probably doesn't want to help you though. Okay, back in the shade for just a second. This is a cool little passageway I'm going to show you. Goes. Ah, I see. This is a little, I think I've been here before. Yeah, of course. This goes just around in a circle back up into this area here. But let's walk around it. They have all these signs that say careful of the stairs. My guess is a lot of people have tripped here before. Yep, and then it leads right back into there. How often do you walk around the whole fortress? I'd say once a year. Really, like the whole fortress once a year. But I visit here several times. This trip too, I've been here in this area twice. Once today and then once previously. But normally in a year, I'll come here, I don't know, like 3-4 times a year. It just depends on how many videos I'm doing, how many collabs. Because this is one of my favorite places in Korea. It's not over congested. Like there are some tourists here. In fact, I just passed a couple, but they're not that common. Like other areas you can barely walk around. Here you have the place to yourself. It feels like you get your own private tour by yourself to look around a historical landmark building in Korea. Yeah, without like people trying to sell you stuff, without like, you know, too much commercialization. It doesn't feel like a tourist spot at all. Like there's a feeling that certain tourist spots will give you where it feels like the government purposely set this up for me to go here and admire it. Kind of like that feeling some places have. Like they're trying to show me something specific. You don't get that here. It's literally just, here's the fortress. There's some plaques with like explanation of what certain parts were used for. And that's it. And enjoy. There are no opening or closing hours. Just come in, walk around, or don't. You can get off anytime you want and go down and eat. In fact, I see close to here is actually where my one of my wife's grandparents lived. Grandmother, I believe. I think they just moved out though recently, but they had a house like literally right next to where I'm standing, like right down the hill. And we went to visit them a few times. It was pretty nice. Really nice view, you know, live right next to the palace. You can wake up, take a walk around it and come back. But yeah, I don't know. I just like this place. I recommend everyone check it out if you have extra time in Korea. Don't go here if you're only in Korea for like a week. But if you're staying here for like, 3 weeks, then sure, pop over to Suwon. Check out the fortress. Go to the chicken street to see the original Korean chicken restaurants. They have some from like, they have one from like the 70s, 71 or something. I don't know. They have some really old ones. They have some like all chicken restaurants are on this one street. Okay, now I'm gonna check the comments again. Keith says, I didn't even see one other tourist when I was there. Okay, if you're here on a weekday, then yeah, I'd say that's normal. Today's Sunday, so that's why I did see a couple. But I don't see anyone else now. Mostly it's just like Korean people, like, sorry, I'm like sweating a bit. Korean people, I'd say like in their 50s, 50s and 60s, kind of walking around here, just to kind of get exercise. I'm just gonna stop here for a second so I can see the comments. I can't even check the comments. It's so bright. Let's do another comment. Take us on the balloon. Yeah, I had a friend who did that and said it was a gigantic waste of money because I think it costs like, it's like 50 or $100 or something, or like maybe per person, it might be $50 per person. And all it does, it's a hot air balloon that says like, I think it says like, I love Suwon or something like that when it goes up. And all it does is just goes up, directly up, and then back down. And it's not that long. And you don't really get a view that you can't just get by going to like, a regular, like a high building. Like there's a palace. Let me see if I can get it on the camera first. I don't know if you can even see that. Anyway, up in the hill, up in the mountain. Can we even see here? Where I'm pointing there. Okay, yeah, up. You can't see it on the camera. Just trust me, bro. There's like a little palace up there. Not a palace. What's the word for it? Pagoda. I've been up there. You guys have seen up there. I've walked all the way up there before multiple times. It's not that big of a deal. It's really far away, but it's actually not that bad. You can get there in like an hour. And up there, you can see everything like better than you can if you do the hot air balloon, and that's free. That's also part of the like the Suwon Fortress area. So you just kind of walk, just keep walking along this path, and then go up the hill, and you get there. So you get a lot of different views from going around Suwon Fortress, which is one of the reasons why I also like it. It's not just one thing, but you go around kind of a bunch of different areas in the city. I regret not seeing Suwon at night, says Keith. Yeah, here also is nice for night. They have like lights around the fortress area here, which will also light up when it gets dark. I usually am not here though to see that either. I only come here during the daytime. Okay, well, let me check a couple more comments. The Asian Raven said it's been super hot in Korea these days. Yes, it has. Very hot. I hate it. I want to go back to the US where it's even hotter, but not humid, and I can just stay in my house and there's air conditioning and I can edit the 30-something videos I've already taken here. Oh yeah, so that's something that I actually mentioned only on my Patreon page, but this typically during a trip to Korea like this, I'll meet up with, you know, a dozen or so other YouTubers and film a bunch of videos, and typically I'll film about, I want to say an average, it's hard to say because sometimes the trips are longer, about 20 to 25 videos, like actual videos that I'll film per Korea trip, which isn't that much, but it does take up, you know, 3 days a week about where I'm just meeting people and filming. This year, after this week, because I have a few more I still have to do, I'm looking at closer to almost like 40 videos, not including live streams and stuff. So it's gonna be quite busy when I go back to the US. But the good news about that though is that instead of uploading the regular, you know, 1 to 2 videos that I do a week plus the live stream, I'm probably going to look at doing like 2 videos or 3 videos per week. So we'll see. But I definitely have a lot of content that I can edit when I get back. And yeah, we'll keep doing the live streams when I get back to the US. We'll also do another K-pop analysis series. I haven't picked which group to do yet, but I'll do that sometime this fall. That one video every week. Yes. All right, we got some more stuff coming up here. This is also one of my favorite places in Korea, and I try not to reveal this too much. But over there, if you come to Suwon Fortress, I will tell you this since you're watching on the stream. Not too many people that are watching it, so I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't want to spoil this place, but this is not exaggerating my favorite park in Korea. It's really small though. It's a hidden park called, I think it's like Dragon Lake or something like that. Can't really translate the name into Korean correctly. It's a little small pond, maybe Dragon Pond is a better translation. And it's right behind this famous area, which I think is the background in like the Super Nintendo game that, like there's like a fighting game, I can't remember, it's kind of like Street Fighter, but there's a Korean one that has this place as the background in one of the maps. But anyway, yeah, so right behind here, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go there today or not. I'll walk toward there. But anyway, it's my favorite little park. It's hidden, it's really nice and quiet, never a lot of people there. And also there are a lot of other cool stuff in this area. Suwon Chicken Street is down there. There's also the palace, if you want to go check out the palace. I've shown you that before a couple times. So you get like a lot of these cool stops. You're not just coming to check out the fortress walls and walk around it. Like, I wouldn't really do that anyway. But you see all the little stops along the way, and you can get off there, do something, and then go back on. Kind of like a subway. Yeah, like Korea's first walkable subway. I planned to go to Suwon when I was in Korea in May, but I didn't get time. Now I'm seeing this and I'm sad I missed it. Well, it's okay. It'll be here. It survived for hundreds of years. It should be fine for when you come back. Probably a lot of the restaurants and stuff will be the exact same if you do get to visit here later. Yeah, and then like even on the way to see these other things I'm going to see, there are also other places you can check out. That's a popular spot for people to take photos. Okay, here it is. Yeah, it is translated as Dragon Pond. Literally, Yong means dragon, Yun is a pond. Yongyeon. But I'm warning you, please, if you're watching this and you're a content creator, I implore you, do not make a video about this. I mean, you know what I mean, like a viral video about this, because I don't want the spot to be ruined by too many people. A few people though's cool. I think we have a group here. Okay, he's explaining this to some tourists here as well. So he's talking about how this place is really popular for picnics, and he's like, you can't bring chairs or anything like that. You just got to do picnicking just by sitting down and eating. Yeah, this is a. I'm not sure how much you can see it. Try to focus on the background here, not me. Actually, let me switch my camera. This little spot, very tranquil, never busy. Never seen this place busy ever. No matter when, no matter what time you come. The other thing that's nice is, although it's got all this water, I don't see a bunch of I don't see like millions of mosquitoes or anything. Here, I've taken you here before a couple times. I've done a stream here once as well. Yeah, my personal favorite park in Korea. You don't come here to like look around. That it's more like if you actually want to relax at a park, this is what I mean by my favorite park. You just come here and you just sit down and relax. Bring some food. Look at the pond, the little island there. There's some like birds hanging out there, I guess. Yeah, it's a nice view, and it's hidden. Why is it hidden? Because you've got a really small road that only bikes go down. Sometimes a couple cars do, but mostly it's just bikes. On that side, over there on the other side is like a little tunnel that goes through as well. Only a few cars will go across there. But this area is kind of like island. It's like an island around inside of like some car routes, and then there's like people walking around. So you have like people walking around and small roads on the outside, which protect it from being easily accessible. So I think people don't come here unless they really want to, which is why it's not busy. There are many people carrying umbrellas. So what they're actually carrying is not, it's not the word usan. U means rain, and san is an umbrella. So literally usan means rain umbrella, which is funny because that's what San from ATEEZ also had for his name. But they're actually carrying what's known as yang san, yang meaning sun. So sun umbrella, or we would call in English parasol, if we ever used that word. But yeah, carrying umbrellas for sun, not for the rain. The reason for that is if you're walking outside a lot, you're gonna get sunburned. And I know that's not a big deal for us Americans, but for Korean people, they really care about that. They want to have, they don't want to have darker skin, I guess. They don't want to get sunburned. Or you can think of it like, for your health, I guess skin cancer is bad. It is bad. So yeah, sure. I don't use one instead because I usually don't have any hands to bring one whenever I'm filming. But whenever I'm outside, I just wear a lot of sunblock. Billy Green, Greenland, green, me, not being there, red. Do you have to pay to walk inside the fortress? Nope, 100% free. That's what makes it best. The palaces, though, if they didn't charge for like Gyeongbokgung and those palaces, and they don't charge a lot, but if they didn't charge anything, they would be so crowded. People would just go there just to relax, just to sit there and enjoy the scenery. No, here though is completely free. there isn't any place that they could block you off from entering here, because it's like the entire city. This originally was the fortress walls for the area, and there also is a what do you call it? I guess a temporary palace in here as well, which is across the street, not that far. So yeah, this originally was just a fortress, but it's too big for them to block it off and demand entry, because there's a lot of stuff around it too. I mean, I guess they could lock off all the doors and walkways and say you have to pay to enter, but then they'd be blocking all the traffic too. So, and there are tons of businesses inside this area. So yeah, no, it's totally free. Okay, I'm gonna go back down around here. What's the temperature there right now? I'm not sure right now. When I checked this morning, it said that it was gonna be 84 degrees today. See, look, like so many like little details. It's like, why did they put this there? No one walks down here. I mean, you know, a few people do, but they put all these like cool details in areas where they didn't have to. It's just one of those little stone bridges. A Chingomdari, as one of my, oh crap, that thing's huge. That thing was huge. I don't know if you could see that on the camera. It was this big. It was this big, this gigantic wasp. But I don't know if it showed up on the camera though, because it was kind of like, I'm putting where it was kind of like, it was kind of like here on the camera. I don't know if you could see it, and I wasn't trying to film it. I saw it go by and I'm like, oh, that's a really big wasp or whatever. And then it's coming closer and then it's like staying here. I'm like, freaked out for big. I see a bunch of dragonflies here. Those are cool. I don't want a wasp. Dragonflies are cooler. There's a ton of dragonflies though here. I don't know if they show up much. But there are just a bunch of dragonflies everywhere. They always get way too close. Yeah, I know. That's what I felt like. I'm like, come on, not during the live stream. You can't embarrass me like that. Okay, I'm going to cross over the bridge here for a second. I'm guessing, though, all of the dragonflies are here because this area also has a lot of little flies. This is like this is the place where all that water originally comes from. Comes down here. Actually, I'll show you here. Go back out. That comes back here and then goes and flows out there. And that's the original place. So if you look down there, you see like, it's like a stream, right? I mean, duh, but it's a stream. It's a stream right through there. And that's the original place where in Suwon, people would take, like this is in the 60s, okay? So Korea wasn't developed very well yet after the Korean War. So they learned their recipes for fried chicken from the black soldiers during Korean War, which I think is really cool. But then they put their own spin on it. And what they would do originally it was just regular fried chicken. But they would take their chickens down into this river, I guess you'd call it a river, stream, and then they would wash them there. That's where they would, you know, pluck them, wash them off, and that's the reason why. Is this actually Suwon? Hold on. I need to check before I'm giving you fake information if this is the river. I think this one is though, because it should flow into the others. But the Suwon Chun, the Suwon River basically, that's where they would wash all their chicken, because it's a natural source of water. You know, they wouldn't have like indoor plumbing and stuff. But yeah, and then because of that, a lot of them set up their chicken restaurants along the river. And there is a street, if we keep walking down here for a bit, there's a street where it'll be the Suwon Chicken Street that has a bunch of old chicken restaurants on it. And it's really good. I've been there a few times, and I've been to a couple places there, both very good. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple comments. King of Mayonnaise says, I started learning Korean with your videos recently, and they're the absolute best. Thank you so much. I'm going to Korea for the first time soon. Hopefully I can use some phrases then. Nice. Yeah, focus on phrases. If you're going to Korea really soon, don't stress about like, oh, what if I can't speak there? Like, don't set yourself up for like disappointment. If you memorize some phrases, you can use some phrases in Korea. That would be awesome. So yeah, focus on that. Focus on common phrases that you can use. Not so much about questions. Okay, it showed that it froze. So if you just saw me freeze, I'm aware. But yeah, focus on just expressions that you can say and not so much on questions, not so much on like colors, numbers, you know, things you actually use to speak Korean. Because if you're brand new, you're just going to Korea and you want to have some fun, the phrases will get you farther than those sorts of things will. Okay, let's do another question. I think I saw another thing. Wavy said, I'm so happy you're in Korea. I love that for you. I hope you enjoy it. I find your videos so helpful as I'm a beginner in Korean. Nice. Yeah, I make sure to get here every single year. Make sure I'm in Korea every year, at least 2 months, sometimes 3 months. Sometimes I go twice, but I haven't been able to afford that the past couple years. Last year and this year, I've only gone once each year, but yeah, I'd like to keep doing that. It helps keep me up to date. So this time I learned which trends are popular. I learned about food trends. You're not going to get this information if you're living in the States or somewhere else until after the fact. Korean people will tell you like, oh, right now this is so popular in Korea. But you won't actually know that until after it's a bit past, like after it's already been getting popular. But if you live in Korea, you can figure that out yourself. So right now, ube. Is that like a vegetable or something? Commonly used in a lot of Filipino snacks, right? UBE, is that ube or ubi? Ube, I'm just gonna say ube. And yeah, ube is popular. So I've seen ube flavored a lot of stuff now. So if you see that, if you see someone talking about that, it's been going around since I'd say a couple months ago. That's popular. Also, oh, there was something else that I saw that I can't think of right now. If I think of it, I'll mention it again. But there are a couple like food snacks right now that you'll see kind of popping up. But yeah, the trend is always every year's different food trends. Earlier this year, it was the Dubai Junta cookie. It was like the Dubai cookies. Those were the trend like toward like the end of last year, kind of. I wasn't a big fan of the Dubai chocolate though, so I never really cared about the cookies. Ube, what does it taste like? It's pretty good. I'm not sure how to describe it though, because I don't get it that much. I think it's more like they found a new flavor that other countries are already using, and then they realize they can put it in everything and hope that it catches on. It feels very coordinated. Like you'll see ube snacks from multiple companies popping up at the same time. It's also possible that one company saw it, one company did it, and another company's like, oh, let's do that, stat, and immediately released a flavor of their own. Ube is usually in sweet cakes or drinks, yes, but I can't describe the flavor. Okay, let me see if there's another. Send me your Korean comments. I'll answer. Sorry, questions. I'll answer one more Korean question. Someone said I should use a UV umbrella. Yeah, I probably should. I just can't do it while I'm streaming. And I would want to get I want to get a lightweight one that I can carry around in my bag. I have I carry around an eco bag with me everywhere in Korea, and it has a ton of stuff in it. You know, like water, sunblock, portable battery, like hand wipes, like everything's in there. But I want to have also, and it's not an umbrella. I have an umbrella, but it's just a regular rain umbrella. I would like to also get a umbrella that's a dual, like an umbrella or uyangsan, they call it, basically both rain or sun umbrella. But the one that I found currently was a bit heavy because they have an extra, like a layer, like a black fabric that goes on the inside, and that makes them, I guess that makes them a bit more heavy. So I'm trying to find a lightweight one that I can carry around. Hold on, I don't want to go this way. I think this is the wrong way. I was just walking over the river and I didn't realize where I was going. So I'll go back the other way. We're already seeing though some chicken restaurants. And yeah, that's not a coincidence. It's because again, people would literally wash their they'd literally wash their chicken right in the river here a long time ago. Although I'm sure this is not a like one of those older, really older restaurants. This looks like it's probably from the 90s or early 2000s at the most. There are some really old restaurants though here. Think of it like taro, but sweeter with a hint of vanilla. Okay. Am I the only one who was amazed by clear umbrellas? Yeah, Koreans like their clear umbrellas so that they can see. Because if you're walking through a crowd of people and you use a clear umbrella, they also are more dome shaped. So you can actually use it to cover your entire head. So you really won't get wet. Versus a regular umbrella where the rain comes at an angle and even if you cover yourself, it still sprays you. So they're dome shaped and then you can still see out of them. So that's the idea. I'm not a huge fan of them just because the clear ones are usually the cheap ones from Daiso or like convenience stores for like 5,000 won. They break really easily. And they're also long. They're not collapsible. They're just like full umbrella size, which I don't want to carry around unless I know it's raining. Instead, I carry around, let's see if I can pull it out here. Here we go. My umbrella, I actually bought, it weighs nothing. It's so light. And I've never found one like this ever again. There are some I found in Korea which are a little bit shorter, but they're always a little thicker. They're like half a centimeter or a centimeter thicker than this. But this, and also they're a little bit heavier. But this one like is super light. I got it in Japan back like forever ago. Like I think in like 2005 or something like that. Maybe 2004 or 2005. Did I get it? Or was it 2009? I don't remember, but it's quite old now, but still works. A really important thing like manners and cultural differences, for example, not greeting someone with your hand in your pocket. Yeah, that, if you have your hand in your pocket, it kind of is like, I don't care to take my hands out to shake your hand sort of thing. It's not, I wouldn't say it's rude, but it's not the best impression if you want to give, if you're trying to impress someone, don't do it. If you're like just saying hi to a friend, like, it's fine, no one's gonna care. But yeah, if you're trying to meet like new strangers and something, just culturally, you want to be as polite as you can for meeting new people. I'm gonna keep walking down here. At least I'm gonna try showing you an area I haven't shown you before, since I already showed you Suwon Fortress a million times. So I'm walking down this street, which is adjacent to the river. I see a bunch of ducks here. There's like a duck family. My camera does not focus. That's not me, I swear. My camera just doesn't focus. It broke. One of the 3 cameras that it has, the regular view, does not focus at anything except close distances. The other 2 cameras, the wide angle camera and the telephoto camera, work fine, but the regular one doesn't focus. It's just old. So yeah, I want to show you kind of an area. I think we're going toward the market area, which I haven't shown you that area before in a live stream. Okay, so yeah, feel free if you have any Korean questions. Now's a good time to ask. Now it's not as hot. Before, the cloud was open and it was just burning hot, but now it's more like it was in the morning, where it's bright, but it's not like direct, sharp shadows. Luna asks, is that water clean? I would not drink it if you paid me $100. Hopefully that answers your question. So when people would wash their chickens here, after the Korean War and in the 60s, people would wash their especially after the Korean War, they didn't have enough infrastructure for it yet. they would wash their chickens here, and yeah, wasn't the best place, but you know, you cook the chicken, which would kill bacteria. So yeah. Also, people were just, you know, it's more common to have, you know, infections and getting sick. It was more common before, you know, modern hospitals and stuff all around the world. You know, like when I was a kid, we just drink water straight out of the hose. But, you know, I wouldn't do that today. Not because the water is not clean, but because it tastes like hose. It tastes like plastic. Okay, Valordimo asks, do they treat foreigners more babyishly or avoid speaking English? Some people do. In majority of people do not. But yeah, I sometimes do get that treatment, but it's not common. The other time, a few days ago, I went to a restaurant with my kid, and right when we walked in, I spoke Korean. I said, oh, you know, one adult, one kid. Fine pronunciation, everything. Nothing like weird about it. Not like smiling or looking like a tourist, just like I always do. Maybe because he saw my kid though. He looked up at me and he's like, oh, there's room in the back. Like, I will seat you. I will show you the table. Kind of like that. I'm like, oh, 네. I just kept replying in Korean. I didn't go into English. And then he's like, oh, I will turn on the air conditioner for you. 네, 감사합니다. Do you need we don't have the English menu. Do you need? 그냥 편하게 한국말 하셔도 돼. 하셔도 괜찮아요. I just told him that, like, yeah, you can just relax. You can just speak Korean. It's okay. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he spoke Korean. Like, you get around that just by not playing into it. But that was one of the few times I've had this trip where someone really wanted to speak English, but I don't. I want to speak Korean as much as I can when I'm here. If someone's English is like I said, impeccable, like perfect English, then I'd rather speak English with them just because it makes their conversation easier. But for the most part, I rarely meet those kind of people. All right, now we are getting to the Chicken Street area. This restaurant in particular was in 1970. I'm not sure, I don't think it's the oldest in Korea ever, but it is quite old. Now, I've been here a lot before. I'm just showing to you. I don't think I've shown you here in a live stream. They should, if I remember, have a big map of the area showing off this Suwon Chicken Street. That's where I ate. Did you eat at this restaurant? The one from 1970? Which one did you go to? But yeah, here there are many chicken restaurants. Though in this street, that's the only one right there, because most of them are actually relocated on, I don't know if it relocated, but remain on a separate street area, which we're coming up to. Yeah, this whole area just looks like it had several stores with that same sort of name originally. I don't have the budget for chicken today. But oh, they did have they had a plaque for Suwon Chicken Street. Maybe I'm not there yet. Oh yeah, I must not be there yet. Okay. Because yeah, when I first came here, I remember seeing like a map posted. But I don't see that map right now. So either they got rid of it or I don't know, we'll find out. The 1971. Okay, yeah. Then yeah, that was right there. Then Keith, you were right there. I just saw you actually, Keith. I didn't say hi because I'm doing this live stream, but after we finish, I promise we'll meet up. Yeah, this street area is very unassuming. Like you walk around it and there's like just, you know, a few small restaurants, no big deal. No big deal. There we go. I think I see some of them there. Okay, where's the big sign? I swear I thought the sign was at the entrance there. Did they get rid of it? Why do I care so much about this sign? Now I see a lot of chicken restaurants coming up. There's Suwon Tongdak there. There's Haenggung Tongdak. You can't really see it. There's Kimchi Poktan Tongdak. These are all chicken restaurants. Oh, they have this cute thing. I gotta show you. I'm waiting. There's some kids taking a photo there. After they take their photo, I'm gonna go over and show you. Okay, there. I think I see the sign there. Hey, Mikey, Mike. Thank you. That might actually be the enough to buy chicken. 20 bucks. That might actually be enough to buy chicken. Thank you, Mikey. Chicken budget for today from Mikey. There's something I want to show you. This is really cute. They did not have this the last time I was here, although I haven't been here in a couple years. This is friednya, yangnyeom이냐. So, do you prefer fried chicken or seasoned chicken? That's a good question. That is a very good question. I don't know. Fried and dipped, but sometimes you just want the pre-seasoned. But yeah, they have this little thing. I saw some kids right before I came here. There's some kids with their parents there, like taking a photo of here. And I can't really show you. There, yeah, that's really cute. They did not have that before, so that's new. Gyeongju had small chicken street too. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a very traditional town. I'm sure they have a lot of chicken there and a lot of good traditional Korean food. Okay, now this is the street area. So not just on this side, but on the other side too. A bunch of chicken restaurants. Let me see how many I can count. Okay, none over there. 1, dakgochi. 2, super chicken. 3, korochi tongdak. There might be another one over there that I can't see that's hidden from the sign. So 3 others over there. And then here's our chicken street. Oh, there's another one there too. Daebong Tongdak. I've never been there. Otugi. Oh, this is a Jinmi Tongdak, right? This is a Haenggung Tongdak again. And then Tongdak, more Tongdak, more Tongdak, Tongdak. Anytime you see Tongdak, that means like the whole chicken basically. Hold on. I got another donation. I got to check that out. Oh, Lauren. Jeremy Chicken Money. What's Jeremy Chicken Money? Is that for me and Jeremy to eat chicken? You know what? It's not a bad idea. I do have actually this week I'd like to film a couple videos with Jeremy. I'm planning, as long as the weather's not terrible, there are 3 videos I want to film with him. One is another KiCat video, which I need him to help me with filming that. Just KiCat needs emotional support to film, so I need another person. I can't film videos with KiCat by myself for obvious reasons. KiCat just doesn't want to get up, doesn't want to act, so we need Jeremy to help encourage her. And then a couple other videos where we're going to go places. I don't want to spoil them. It's not like a big deal, but they're cool. He'll like them. And hopefully this week we can film them. This is my last week. I go back to Korea this weekend. But again, thank you both to Mikey and to Lauren. I'm not sure if I'm going to get... I'll have to see what's open because some places could be closed today. But anyway, this is the chicken street. Is this the sign? No, there was another sign. Originally there was a different sign. I swear it was by the entrance and they got rid of it. There was another sign that showed the like the stuff that it was in the area and gave like some history of it. I'm just waiting for some cars to pass by and then we're gonna... Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be waiting. I'm gonna be waiting all day if I just keep waiting because those cars are not stopping. Okay. Okay, let's go check out the chicken street. This is the main chicken street. Though everything in the area kind of counts. A lot of old stuff. Oh, this place also is from 1970. So another one of the original ones. I've only been, though, to a couple of these places here. I went to here twice. That was really good. Namun Tongdak. Heartfelt recommendation there. Very good. But it's different. It got popular from a movie, actually. There was a movie that came out, I want to say it's like 2010, 12, 13, sometime around then, like 2010-ish. There was a movie called Kukan I believe. Yeah, I never saw the movie. But part of the plot of the movie was that, like, I guess the people worked at a restaurant that sold suwon wangalbi chicken, like kalbi flavored, like rib flavored, seasoned chicken, fried chicken. And that originally wasn't really a thing. I think there were like a couple restaurants that sold it, but it wasn't like a thing. Like, oh, everyone knows the suwon wangalbi chicken. It was like they put it in the movie and made it famous. And after that movie came out, everyone's like, oh, I want to try what this chicken tastes like. And I was one of those people also who heard about that. I'm like, I want to try it. And it's just really good. Actually, like kalbi, like Korean kalbi flavored fried chicken. And you eat it by itself, or you can use the fried chicken and make it into like a little sandwich. They give you like some bread rolls and you put the chicken in there with like coleslaw. Really good. I've had it a couple times. Okay, let me get a couple more questions. I was there last November, the sign. Okay, maybe they just removed it because I swear there was a sign. It was like right at the entrance, either the entrance of here or the entrance of the street at the intersection when I was crossing the street, which said like Suwon Tongdak-gori, and it had like information about it. Okay, Adi says, I'm gonna be in Korea in October. Early October, yes, is still gonna be pretty warm, pretty hot. Early October. Late October is where it starts to cool down. And then you're looking at like cold weather into November. Early October though, not terrible. Better than September. September is like miserable. So yeah, you'll be okay. I love how they have gloves for the chickens. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be sanitary, right? Ooh, you wouldn't want your chicken just touching stuff with their fingers. That's gross. And then you eat them? Ew. Yeah, chickens gotta wear gloves. But yeah, there are a lot of chicken places around here. And then if you keep going on, there's more. Like, all this stuff. There's more chicken restaurants down there too. A couple other here I see. But I mean, you're not really gonna come here to look around the chicken restaurants. Like, why would you do that? You're just gonna be in the area anyway, and then you Google or check Naver to see what restaurants are good in the area, and just come to the one restaurant that you pick. And there are a lot of good ones. I just haven't been to all of them because, I mean, why? Like, it's not that the chicken is exceptionally good here. There are some restaurants here that are exceptional because like they're really old. You want to get like the original recipe to see what Korean chicken used to be like. Or if you want to try something specific, like you wanted to try like the suwon wangalbi chicken or something like that, then sure. But otherwise, you don't need to come here just for the chicken. I would say if you're here anyway, then get lunch here. Have I visited Lotte World Tower? Yes. Wait a minute. I was there, yes, last stream, 2 weeks ago. Okay, let's see. Where should I go now? It's a little early for lunch. If I eat lunch during this stream, I will run out of money and I will run out of time because I'm only gonna stream for another like 30 minutes. Wow. This place says they've served over 125 banmyeong. So what's that? 1.25 million people? And that can't be right. I'm terrible at numbers for the record in English, in whatever language. Yeah, it's 1.25 million people. Okay, I guess a lot of people have tried their chicken before. It's what they're advertising here. Anyway, there are actually two restaurants right next to each other that have the same type of thing. But the one in the corner is the one that I went to. I don't actually know if this one, there's like another one right next to it. I don't know if that one's better or not, because like I said, it was not, suwon wangalbi chicken was not a thing before the movie. So I don't know which was the original, or if they were both the original, or one of them started it and the other one immediately copied it. You know, like there's some stuff like that. And then when you come here, you're not now in the middle of nowhere. You're really, we're just gonna go right over to the other street, and we're right back in the main area again. No problem. You're not gonna get lost here. That's the other cool thing. I'm someone who gets lost super easily. I can always find my way around Suwon, especially this area, the fortress area, because there's so many landmarks that you can easily see. Like, I know that if I go back down that street again, I'm going to get to the Suwon River again. I know that if I go this way, I get to the main street, and here we go, the main street. And I know that if I walk down there, we're going to get to the temporary palace, which is where we're going. So even someone like me who has Kilchi is like directionally challenged. Oh my God, they moved it here. Keith, they moved it here. This is, I'm not joking. This sign was back over there where I first, at the intersection, when I first crossed the street and I pointed out the Maehyang Tongdak, the place that Keith said he had lunch at. At the intersection right there was this sign explaining the Suwon Tongdak-ori and listing a bunch of the restaurants. This is the sign. Yeah, Suwon Chicken Street. And then the other side had a map, although I can see it got kind of dirty. Maybe that's why they got rid of it, because it was getting dirty. They really should reprint it though. Why is it here? Look, it even says that. It even says that right here. Hyunwichi means right here. But that's not here. Right now it's here. We're like, this is, oh wait, did they move this? Oh, no, I know what it is. Okay, I figured it out. This is not the one that was over there, but this is the companion to that. There was another one that was on the other side right here. So originally it was like right here or here, somewhere along here. There was another one. And then this is the other one. So they had a set of two of them. So it's not that they moved it over here. I was wrong about it. But it was the original set, and then they got rid of the other one. Probably because they're super dirty. So maybe the other one was too dirty to even keep. That's probably what happened. I think we can call Sherlock Holmes, tell him he's off the case. We're good now. But yeah, there used to be another one. I don't know why I care so much about that sign. Okay, now we're walking to the temporary palace. I'm gonna grab some water out of my bag. Getting kind of thirsty walking around a lot. That's one thing, is when you go to Korea, it's very hard to gain weight in Korea. Unless you're just like unless you just drive everywhere and take the taxi everywhere, which you probably won't unless you're rich. It's very hard to gain weight in Korea. So you do a ton of walking, just going to the subway, to the bus. When you get to your destination, walking around, picking a restaurant. So I recommend carrying around some water. I have this little one I use in Korea, but you can just carry on any bottle of water. Could detour through the markets. Yeah, I mean, we can. You literally cannot get lost here. There are way too many. Like, you remember I pointed out that that place up on the hill here. This is right there. It's a lookout tower, and I've been up there before several times, and I've shown it on live stream before once or twice. Like, it's so easy to know where you are because there are lots of landmarks. Someone asked, is drinking water okay on the bus? Yeah, totally fine. You're not supposed to eat on the bus though, but sometimes I see some older people kind of like, eating like little snacks and stuff anyway. But normally no. You are allowed though to eat on the train. So the train, sometimes people just bring like their meal and just, that's what the little tray table thing is for. They'll just bring food they got right before they leave and then eat it on the train. Okay, here's the temporary palace, right over there. There's also a cool market. I don't know if it's going to be open right now though, but there is a cool market as well outside of the temporary palace, which I will show you. briefly, before we end our stream today, while I'm waiting for the crosswalk to change again, because I just missed this one, anyone have any Korean questions? Now is a good time. And then look, and then while you're waiting, you get this thing here too. It's like everywhere you go in Suwon around this fortress, you're rewarded with something cool to look at. So it never gets boring, which is cool. Except for some areas where it gets boring if you're actually like hiking around like if you go up into the tree area back there there really isn't anything to do except go down back into the city because you're actually going up into the hill. But besides that one part of the fortress, there's always stuff you can do, especially all the stuff that's along this area, this whole area that I was just walking through. There's stuff along the whole street. There's also a decent Philly cheesesteak restaurant if you go down this street. I went there. It's pretty good. Okay, we got a question. Valor asks, at what level should you start focusing on honorifics and deciding when to use which? As soon as you're having any sort of conversation, you want to be using honorifics, which is the reason why my first book actually introduces the learner using formal speech. The whole book series isn't formal speech, but the first several lessons are exclusively formal speech. And the reason for that is because in the very beginning, it's very easy to be rude. Even if you're just trying to practice expressions, like I would say as soon as you're having any sort of conversation, you need to have formal and honorific speech ready to go. Because anytime you talk about someone else, you need to use formal speech or it's kind of rude with strangers. Even if they're similar age as you, if you're not well acquainted with someone, it feels kind of grating to do that. So yeah, get that down. I just released, though, I think last week or whatever, a honorific and, let me just check here. A honorifics and humble speech cheat sheet, which has all of the major honorific like verbs, grammar and all that stuff on there, as well as humble speech. So you can watch the lesson for it like normal, but then you can have that sheet just to kind of keep your, to kind of help you remember. Yes, that was a bell, a big bell. And no, I cannot ring it, or else I would. Irie asks, is tap water okay to drink? Perfectly fine, though this is something that you will hear differently from Korean people. So in Korea, the perception of tap water is very unclean because in the past, it was very unclean. Like people's parents' generations did not have clean tap water. The pipes in the buildings, if you live in a really old building from like before the 70s, pipes are going to be bad. Like, what do you call it? Just like those old galvanized pipes that rust and everything, you're going to have a lot of garbage in there. So people would not want to drink the water out of older buildings. And that kind of persisted till today, where people still think that tap water is not safe to drink and most people don't drink it. So everyone will have a water filter in their home. Nobody drinks out of the faucet. They'll think you're crazy if you start doing that. But it's very safe now. Tastes good too. Although I will say filtered water still tastes better usually, but there's some areas I've had where you have like the water straight out of the faucet. It's really good. And if you're in Seoul, there is actually a branded version of, it's literally just Seoul tap water, but they branded Seoul tap water as Arisu. So if you ever see anything that says like Arisu or whatever in Seoul, it's the branded tap water that tastes really good, and it's you'll find in all the water fountains it's branded like that, to kind of encourage people like, hey, it's okay to have tap water, it's not going to hurt you, and then that kind of improved the perception of Korean tap water. And this is totally what you wanted to learn from my stream is Korean tap water. But yeah, still most people have a negative perception, and they will tell you not to drink the water, that it's not safe. That's not true. That's an old perception. It's totally fine to drink. Oh, you know what? This is, okay, so So I think this one has a ticket. I think we need to buy a ticket to get in. 화성행궁. Yes. They also do a okay. They also do performances out here. I don't know when they're doing the next performance. Oh man, it's really hot now. I not sure when they do the next performance. That's why I'm looking. Oh, they have a self-ticketing system now to get in. Oh man.
매표소에 오신 걸 환영. 구매를 원하는 상품을 구매를 원하는 권종과 수량을 선택하세요.
It's 2,000원 to go in. Should we go in? I think we're gonna go in. Unless they tell me I can't stream, then I'll have to go right back out, and it's a waste of my 2,000원. But let's try it. Let's gamble. See if they tell me to get out of there. Like, oh, you can't record here. I'm like, oh, all right, bye. Okay, so 2,000원. Here we go. Let's see. Well, I don't need that. Okay, then I believe that's it. There's no like pay with card button, so I'll just put my card in and see if it does it. Oh, there it is. It was just
결제하실 내역을 확인하세요.
blocked. The sunlight, it was so bright. It was blocking the confirmation button.
결제 방법을 선택하세요. 신용카드를 선택하셨습니다. 신용카드나 삼성페이를 카드 결제기에 넣어 주시거나 스마트폰을 가까이 위치해 주세요. 티켓 출력이 완료되었습니다. 화면 아래 왼쪽에
Okay.
있는 티켓 배출구에서 티켓을 받아주세요.
All right, I got my ticket.
매표소에 오신 걸 환영합니다. 인상권 방법 페이스입니다.
Okay, I'm gonna put this down for a second while I just walk through. 네. 갑니다. Okay, we're good. So, I haven't been in here in a while. Oh my god, I thought those were real people for a second. I was like, oh, they're performers. No. There's some people doing tours here. Yeah, 2001 is like, I won't even blink to do a ticket for somebody like that. Oh, hello, excuse me, do you have a second for an interview, please? Do you? They're giving me the cold shoulder. They're very much in character. I didn't want to add. Yeah, I think they're just really absorbed. It's a method acting. Chung something moon. I can't read the middle character. I can only read the first and the third one. Anyway, it says middle something gate.
임금님이 오실 때 열어드리는 분이죠.
Yeah, there's a couple tour groups going on right now. It's not as big as like Gyeongbokgung or something like that. But if you're here anyway, it's Sunday and it's not even that crowded. See, this is what makes Suwon so nice. You got all this cool stuff, cultural stuff too, but it's not that crowded usually. Why? Because tourists don't come to Suwon. They mostly stick to Seoul. But if this were in Seoul, oh, it would be so busy. Because look at this. I actually don't know what that is. I think that's someone doing a workshop there. Ah, they're like displaying some stuff. Okay. Ah, okay. They got some stuff you can see. Okay, go back this way. I'm gonna go through the other door that I saw. Do they film dramas here? Asks Hilda. Yes, I'm sure they have. I don't know what dramas they filmed here recently though, but they film mostly though they won't film here. Mostly they'll film at the Minsokchon, the folk museum, which is also in Suwon. See, another reason to visit Suwon. The folk museum looks legitimately has some areas that look like drama sets, and they do filming there regularly. So often when I go there, there'll always be like one area that's blocked off every time I go there, and then there'll be people setting up for filming. Yuyeotaek, I guess made in 1790 originally. Okay, so it was a local magistrate's villa. But when the king visited this palace, it served as a royal audience hall. Okay, so the king's like, "Hey, I'm visiting," and this guy's like, "All right, you can come to my house." And then they put, I guess, his official portraits, like the paintings of him, for the king at that time when he died. They put them. Oh, they put them here temporarily. Okay, never mind. I was like, oh, they have them here. That would be cool, but no. Yes. Okay. So now we're going through here. What? That's not a sign you want to see anywhere. Pol Toshim. Watch out for bees. Okay. Go up the mountain again. Yeah, no thanks for this time. That was quite a big journey when I did that last time. Okay. There's also a there's also this. I don't know how to get there. I've never been up there before. I guess there's more to this area though. Oh, unless that's just the area for the Suwon Fortress walls normally. Oh, that might be it. That might just be the Suwon Fortress area anyway. In which case I have been there before. Anytime you might see, not just this building, but other ones also, you'll see these little, like, what they look like basements in the houses. Those were the original places for fire pits and stuff, and they would use it for cooking food as well as for keeping warm during the winter. But you'll see, like, every single building has these, like, underground little areas, and that's what those would be for, in case you're wondering what those are. Oh my gosh, they got another guy here. Almost scared me. He's in there preparing for his topic, studying for the topic. A eunuch reading a book, because that's pretty much all he can do with his life now. Okay, let's keep going. There's an outpost and a shrine. Do you ever get recognized? Yeah, every time I go to Seoul. Not so much in Suwon, although sometimes, yeah, but every time I go to Seoul, at least one or two people will stop me. If you see me, please feel free to say hi. Don't be like creepy and just take my photo from far away. Some people have done that. They'll like send me a photo later, like, oh, I saw you, Billy, and it'll be like me sitting like checking my phone or like walking into the bathroom or something like that. I'm like, you can just say hi. I'm friendly. And it should be obvious, but you cannot enter these buildings, just in case if you're wondering. If the doors are closed on any building, do not open them. Just in case there's someone who might do that. I don't think any of you would ever do that, but just in case. You never know. There actually is off stuff inside. These are real buildings. They weren't made as decorations. They are restored to be like viewed for like, you know, for fun or for historical reasons. They restore them to look nice. But originally they are still the original buildings that they were. So sometimes you can see like, you might see like a cracked old door and you can look through and you can see stuff inside of it. But yeah, don't open any of the doors unless they're already open for you. Oh, this area. I don't think I've been out back here before. This is bigger than I thought. I thought this was it. I thought it ended right here. But I see there's another area that's also gated in here. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to check this out because I don't remember it going back this far. Japanese destroyed some original one. Yes. Most destruction ever is Mongolia in 1200s, I believe, 1300s. Japan did some destruction. Korea did some destruction. Most recently is Japan. America never got its turn. I'm sure we would have done some pretty bad stuff too. But we weren't in Korea except for during the war. Or fortunately we were helping, but yeah, a lot of the stuff. So that's why a lot of stuff you see in Korea is actually reconstructions of older stuff. It'll say like, oh, this place is from, you know, 1439 or whatever, and then you'll find out, oh, it was from 1439, but the original was destroyed completely and then rebuilt in 1874 or whatever like that, or rebuilt in 1970. Everything has a story like that if you Google it. But you know, it is what it is. There are some original stuff though left, but it's kind of rare. In fact, one of my favorite is in Andong. They have it's like a study area, like a, what do you call it? Not like a university, but like a place where people go to study. And it's in Andong. And they have the oldest wooden building in Korea there. And it was also destroyed partially, but reconstructed, I think back in like 1400 or 1300 or something like that. So even the reconstruction is pretty old, but it looks really cool. The visiting, we did some damage, not on purpose. Okay, yeah, I'm sure there was some damage done by the US during the war, but I mean, you know, intentionally versus as a part of the war stuff. Yeah, Japan did some intentional damage. Mongolia did a lot of intentional damage a long time ago, though. Oh, it's getting hot again. I don't think I've actually been to this area before, because I don't remember it being this big, which means I must not have realized it was this area existed. There's also like a church back there. I'm sure that's not inside of this palace area. Kunghadang, I think. Is that right? Camera to reverse the camera. The button to switch the camera is actually in the same spot as the button to get out of the app. And I think the app isn't smart enough to realize that I'm in the app, so I'm pushing the back button. I'm pushing the reverse button, not the back button. But I also think it's my phone, just kind of getting old. Camera not working anymore. I'm hoping to next year upgrade my phone. It's now 6 years old, so maybe next year I'd like to finally do that. Anyway, I was going to show you what it said, and then that's when the app just crashed. So I'm not going to show you what it said. Basically, this area was it says for the king to get changed, but it was for changing to do rituals. So it wasn't like he would have his favorite Nikes here. Or, he'd collect his sneakers. These are the ones I've been looking for. The blue ones with the stripe. Very rare. He's got his collection of jerseys, all the team jerseys. I shall be number 5. Yeah. No. Sorry. Yeah, this was just where he would go to change, I guess, for ritual. So this was like ritual preparation room. But there's nothing else here, so I'm just gonna go back. I know it sounds goofy, but you have to think of it in their world. Like, to us, that would be like, very lavish. And what if someone's collecting, fancy shoes? Koreans did that. Ancient Koreans, people did that sort of same stuff, just wouldn't be quite like we would see it. They might collect, oh, I got these rare nuts when I travel to the other region. Like display them, and they'd show them off. And when people would come over, they'd be like, oh, would you like to try one of my special fruits I got? Like that sort of thing. Why are so many walls and small gates separating areas? That's because this was basically like a palace. So you wouldn't want everything just to be next to each other. You want to have privacy. You want to have areas to walk around and think. You don't want to have the people who are assisting you in the very room next to you. Just like if you got married, you wouldn't want your mother-in-law living directly next door to you. It's sort of that idea. You want to have space between people, but you have a lot of people doing stuff. And then this one was like I said, it was the temporary palace for the king at the time, not the main one. And so yeah, so there's a lot of space here. If you'd have your kitchen, down to another area. You want to have your backyard so you can run around. Let your kids visit you at work. It's that sort of thing. No, joking. But no, you'd have just areas to kind of enjoy, just so it's not like, like if you, even modern office spaces will have space between everything, just so it's not so cramped. This one we can kind of see. Oh, actually, I want to see what it is before I go up. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is the place where they actually have the portrait of the king, the official portrait of the king, King Cheongjo. And they have some books that he wrote here and personally used. So it's like, a shrine to the king, kind of. It was originally built with ondor. They replaced it with wooden floor, probably because originally they built it for people to hang out here. And then they realized we don't want to keep an ondor, like that's expensive. You got to keep it for the fireplace and everything like that. You don't want to keep the fireplace going if you're not having guests here. So then they replaced it, and then the original 2 portraits were moved to the capital, but were lost in a fire. Oh, okay. So it's not the originals. Those are lost. 1954. I wonder if that would have been right after the Korean War. Anyway, the current portrait house is newly painted after the original, I'd assume. So we can't see the originals anymore. Very unfortunate, but yeah, like I said, that's the story with most stuff you'll see in Korea. Original, destroyed, recreation. Still though, that's pretty cool. If they also have some, we can't go in here. Looks like that would have been his car. It was the Korea's version of maybe a BMW at the time. Very sleek, lightweight, nice colors. As you would also expect from a BMW, there were no turn signals at the time. Here's his portrait. They said there's supposed to be some books and stuff that he wrote, but I don't see anything else here. So either he didn't write any books and they're making fun of him, or they moved him to another spot. Probably that. That was King. Oh, there we go. Let's get a good shot of him. But yeah, like it says, that was the not the original. That was a recreation because the original was destroyed in a fire, unfortunately. Okay. All right, 10 more minutes or so, then we're going to stop the stream for today. Okay, Gone After Midnight asks, do you do private one-on-one lessons? Technically, yes, but I do not advertise it. So if you really want that, you can send me a message and I'll give you a link. But I don't offer it as regular lessons. I mean, you can. I think I'm very expensive for regular lessons because I'm too busy to do regular lessons. But what I do offer is like one-on-one language coaching, essentially, like working out your study plan. That sort of stuff I think is something that you can get. But yeah, send me a message if you wanted information about that. Flower shoes, yes. What was the most memorable moment from this trip so far? Oh, I've been doing a lot of stuff, met a lot of people already. It's hard to pick. I'm not sure. Most memorable. I'll have to think about that. I have no idea what this was for. I know it's some sort of water drainage system, but I'm not sure for what. Is this old or new? New. Is it just a decorative fountain? That would be kind of dumb. I don't think. And it doesn't continue on the other side. It just goes down here and then drains back down. I don't know what this would have been used for, if this is a part of an original thing. But this thing in there looks old. The walls, though, look pretty new. And there's no plaque about it. Oh, there is something over there. Let's see if that says anything. Okay, report back on the next live. All right, I'll think about that, Kai. Ask me again during my next live stream in a couple weeks when I'm back to the US. Oh yeah, I'm going back to the US this weekend. So this is definitely my last stream, my last week in Korea for this year. Okay, I think this does say what it is. No, it does not. It just talks about the building. Oh, so I don't know. Maybe this really was just to catch rainwater. This must just be modern. This must just be something they added to catch overfill. Like maybe this area is the lower area of the palace and a lot of water flows here. So they have a system for the water from other areas to flow in here and then for it to drain out. That's my guess. This was not an original feature of the palace. Yeah, because here, they also have these, which I'm pretty sure, I would bet money flows to the same spot into there, or maybe directly down to the drain underneath. That those are just for when it rains really hard, that they don't get flooding here, because you don't want it to all get flooded and ruined. All right. Getting close to the end of our stream today. I can take a couple more Korean questions. Now I'm back out here again. Scarlet Moon, welcome. We are now walking around in the city of Suwon at the place called Suwon Haenggung. So the Haenggung Palace in Suwon, which was the temporary palace for the king. And you have to pay to enter here. It was 2001, but I think pretty affordable. Okay, what dish or restaurant is your favorite in Korea? My favorite food, I actually had it last night, and that is sundae. So sundaekuk specifically is usually what I end up eating, or just sundae, which is Korea's blood sausage. It's really good. It will not be your favorite food, but it is mine. Besides that, though, if you want a more standard, my second favorite food would be kalbi. You get really good quality kalbi. Not even yangnyeom kalbi, but just regular kalbi, like straight up rib meat, basically. But yeah, not cheap. And you might also not get that unless you're going to like fancy restaurants, because I've only gotten that a few times. Yangnam galbi though is pretty common and pretty affordable, but it's just not the same. But also that would be in my top 10, Yangnam galbi. If you want something really cheap, that's one of my favorite foods. I would say Isaac toast. It's very cheap. It's like a few bucks. Also gets one of my top 10 spots. What the heck is going? This looks like a... The heck is this? It's a Squid Game. This is Squid Game. Literally. What? Why? Why are they doing this? What is this? Ah, I see. They have a traditional game zone inside of this palace. So let's see, what are the traditional games that they have here? Oh, you have to scan the QR code to see what games they have. All right, well, I'm not doing that. Yeah, that's the only one I recognize, which is funny because if they did this before the show, like no one would recognize that. The other one I can see, there's one where you like roll like what looks like a hula hoop. There's some game with sticks. Oh, I think I know that game. That's the game they were playing at. There's the kids throwing the things down and trying to flip the other one over. That was also in Squid Game. So I think it's only going to be people know like Squid Game ones. And then there's Arrow Throw, which is basically their version of Cornhole. And yeah, stuff like that. You know, just for people to experience what some games used to be like. So nowadays, you know, we have AAA games. Other games might be AA games, or maybe A games. They're lower budget. These were like Z games, you know, for our parents. But they were fun at the time, I'm sure. Maybe not. I don't know. That's what I'm always curious about. Like, people talk about, like, oh, when I was a kid, we used to play this. We used to do this. I'm like, was that fun? Okay, let me see. I did get a question. Do you have any tips for practicing pronunciation? I have a video called about how to improve your Korean pronunciation. I think it's literally called that, which I filmed with another Korean teacher called Your Korean's Hem. She's no longer active on YouTube, but she still has a bunch of good videos. Check that out. It's in my Glass with Billy series. We talk about improving pronunciation, but basically it boils down to you're going to want to do a lot of shadowing. But that's not it. Just watch the video for more tips. Let's see. How do you learn those mega verbs which have 15 meanings? Oh, yeah. So you don't learn them separately like that. What you want to do is always learn them as a set. It's the same tip if you were trying to learn English and someone asked you, oh, how do you know what the word, you know, to means, like T-O. Like, well, it means like, you know, toward or in a direction. No, but you can also use it like to do, to swing, to fly, to eat, to drink. How do I know what all the different meanings? Like, or the same when learning idioms, like up. How do I know what to use up? Like you can say, make. You can say like make up, make it, make out, make, you know, like all the different combinations. You don't learn it like that. You don't learn just the verb make or the word to, right? You learn it as a set. So like with turda or whatever like that, you don't learn like, oh, turda has like a million meanings, you know, kolida has a million meanings. You don't learn it like that. You learn it 감기에 걸리다. Caught a cold. 시간 걸리다, taking time. Okay, you learn them in sets. So even though you're relearning it a bunch of times, it works in a different way. So don't learn them like if you see if anyone has a vocab deck and it says like 걸리다 and it has like a million meanings on it, just throw that deck away because that's not how you learn it. Unless of course it lists them all individually, then that's fine. But you don't want to just learn them like that because it would be a nightmare. Kai also had a good question. Are you still excited with Korean culture as when you started? No. But it's better. It's a better feeling now. I no longer feel like confused and intrigued by it. Like when I first came to Korea and nothing made sense. Like, wow, that's so amazing. Wow, I can't believe they do that. Why would that be like that? now it all makes sense, and it's better this way. So excited. I mean, I get excited if I'm visiting, if I'm like meeting someone cool, or if I'm like going to a new place I wanted to visit. Then yeah, it's a bit exciting. But it's the same as like if you were in your own home country and visiting a new city you've never been to, or like that kind of exciting. You're like, oh, I want to see what they have. It's no longer like I'm gonna see something I've never understood before. I wonder why they did this. Like I'll show you something right now. If I can turn the camera without crashing the stream. Okay, so this, you see this here. What the heck is this? If I came to Korea, it's just, you know, this little lake. Like if I came to Korea my first time and I saw this, I'd be like, I wonder what it means. Let me see first of all if the plaque explains it. If not, then it'll prove my point. Okay, this pond of the detached kitchen presumed to be built. Okay, the place was built sometime after the 1800s. Structure remains. They reconstructed the pond based on pictures. I see. They have a picture comparing before and after, showing no pond before and then a pond after. So they added this little pond. What is in it? Literally nothing. What do we know about it? Literally nothing. So me as a beginner would have been like, what is the significance of the 5 roses? What is that? Those wooden things on the top. And now if I see it, having been in Korea so long, I know. Oh, well, because just a random pond in the middle of the place looks ugly. So they probably would have been flowers in it, right? So let's put something that kind of represents what it would have had. So it would have had flowers in there. And it's going to be dark at nighttime. We don't want people falling in. So let's put a light there. But we can't just have a light. We got to wrap it in twigs so that it looks nice during the day. So like that sort of stuff. It's not exciting to me anymore because I can figure it out. So it's better. I think you don't ever like, it's not a negative that you lose that excitement that you first had when you came to Korea, because it gets replaced with a more of like an understanding or appreciation. And I also at the same time respect Korea way more than I did when I first came here, because it felt like you're coming to like a theme park, like a different world. Like, wow, it's a whole new world just for me to explore. And then when you live here, you realize, no, like I'm just one of the people here now. And you get a lot, at least I did. I got a lot more respect for Korea, Korean people. I can tell if someone's, like I can figure out if someone's actually being genuine and honest, or if someone's trying to sell me something. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna be taken advantage of as easily as when I was a beginner. That sort of stuff is nice. Would you say you have a good pronunciation? Yes, I do have a good pronunciation. Do I have a bit of an accent? I'm sure if you listen to it, like if someone's listening to it and we're talking for more than a few seconds, they'd be like, oh, I can hear something. But is it distracting? No, I'm sure it's not. I've talked with a lot of people about this as well, because I also, as a student, Korean learning student as well, I work on my accent. Even today, I still want to make sure I have a good accent. But no, it's good enough. I'll say that. I feel like I'm in a first-person exploratory video game. You just need to be able to make choices, like left or right, drink or not drink the pond water, that sort of stuff. Always just want to say thank you because I can speak Korean quite comfortably now. Nice. And watching your video, sorry, I'm squinting because it's bright. Switch over here. Okay, there we go. Watching your videos helps me understand Korean basics. Nice. It's good to hear. Thanks for saying that. Let's see here. Okay. But yeah, like that sort of stuff. Like I went to a market last week and there are people speaking dialect, you know, older people talking really fast, but you can tell which ones are actually being friendly and which ones are being rude. And then if I was a beginner, I wouldn't know. I would think the person, I might think they're all being rude, or I might think that the person being rude but smiling was being friendly, like that sort of stuff. And then I might have ended up buying something for way over the price that it would cost because I thought someone was giving me a good deal. I didn't know that they were overcharging me. Like I had that experience as well. That was just the last week when I went to the market. There's a lady, I was looking for a specific prop to add to my podcast set because I'll be doing new podcast episodes when I go back to the US as well. And there was an antique. I didn't end up buying it, but I was looking for a telephone. And I found one that was a recreation in this lady's shop. And I asked, and she was like, well, what are you looking for? So she's smiling. I'm feeling like, oh, she must be really friendly. But then the second thing after that, she wasn't. But first of all, my first impression was, oh, she's really friendly. And she's like, oh, that's a real one. Because I asked her, I told her I'm looking for a phone. She's like, oh yeah, you can get that. That's a real one. Turn it over, I see it's not. If I were brand new to Korea, I would have just thought, oh, she must be mistaken. This is, this can't be, this isn't a real one, but she must have a real one. But immediately I knew that she didn't have any real ones. And she's like, oh, here, take this one. She took another one. It's also the recreation one from like 2014 or whatever. And it didn't have a label on it. So I would have believed it. Like, oh, this must be the real. She's telling the truth. But because I had that, like the intuition from having lived here for a while, I knew right away, no, she's making this up. She just wants my money. She wants me to get out of here. So I told her, no, thank you. Oh, but thanks for your help. And anyway, she's like, oh, wait, you want a real one? Oh, those are like $700. And again, if I were a beginner, I would have known, like, oh, by the way she's talking, oh, she must be educating me, and I should give up trying to get the original and just buy this one from her for like $50. But no, it's like you talk with enough people and you can tell which people are being friendly to you or which people are trying to take advantage of you. And most people, for the record, are not like that. That would be like a rare experience. Like one out of like 50 shop owners might be like that. Everyone else was very friendly when I was at the market. But it's the sort of thing. You don't have to be naive when you studied a lot of Korean. You can kind of pick up on what people are actually saying or what's implied by what they're saying. Because I was there with another friend at the same time who also speaks Korean, and he was also saying the same thing to me. He's like, oh, I've talked with that lady before. She seemed rude. And I'm like, oh, well, I can verify. She's rude. Okay, let's see. Kai says, I selected drink the pond water, but the game's broken. I think it's just the lag. After the stream cuts out, you're going to get a report. Local Korean teacher hospitalized after live stream stunt. And then people commenting on it. I hate these freaking influencers trying to drink the pond water and ruin Korea for everyone. Artsy Girl, I've been watching your videos over the past year, and I love how you explain everything thoroughly in a fun, relatable way. Nice. Thank you, Sim. Nice. P Teats Pita. Oh, PETA eats PETA. Okay. We've been using your channel to learn 5 years, and now my husband have moved to Pyeongtaek. Oh, Pyeongtaek's like right over there. It's pretty close to Suwon. It's like the next city right over. Pyeongtaek, and then Ulsan as well for the air base. Yeah, a lot of people live in Pyeongtaek as well. I've never been there. I rarely go to Pyeongtaek. I've probably been there like maybe twice my entire life to meet a friend. Artsy also asks, I'm wondering is it hard to learn dialects? If you are living in Busan, you'll learn it. If you're not living in that area, it would be impossible to learn a dialect without living in the area. Even if you had like a best friend who spoke like that, you're not going to be actually learning much of the dialect. The only way to learn a dialect is to live in the area, unfortunately, just because there are so many aspects of the dialect beyond just phrases and intonation. It's also culture. And if you're going somewhere as far away as Busan, as far outside of the city, the culture is different too. So you're not going to pick that up from lessons. I would say if you're not living in Busan, how difficult is it to learn a dialect? To actually like learn it, besides like expressions? Yeah, I would say it's impossible level. If you're living there, I would say it's super easy, barely an inconvenience, and you're going to learn it whether you want to or not. Why are there so few people around? Because it's Suwon. It's not a hot tourist spot. You get people coming here sometimes for like tour groups to do like history tours, like to see historical stuff. But you don't get a lot of foreign tourists here, rarely. And yeah, it's just not in Seoul. I guess that's the reason. It's not one of those like well advertised spots. But I like it like this. I mean, I think this area though is fine if more tourists came, but like there are a couple spots that I'm like, I hope tourists don't go there. But I know if more tourists start coming to Korea, they're gonna go there too. So I guess for Suwon's financial prosperity, I do wish more people came to visit Suwon. I think it's a really nice place. You get history minus the crowds. And this statement will most likely be true for at least a few more years because I don't think that people are going to suddenly come to Suwon unless they feature it in K-pop Demon Hunters, in which case we are screwed. This place will be so busy. Okay, I should stop my stream. I'm already 10 minutes over what I said I was going to do today. Really quick. What are things about Korea people wouldn't expect? A lot of walking. Let's see. For a first trip to Korea, do you recommend staying in the same city for that entire trip? Or changing areas throughout the trip? If you're in Seoul, you can stay in the same place. If your trip is mostly visiting stuff in Seoul. If you're planning to go more than 2 hours outside of Seoul, yeah, I'd say 2 hours is a good limit. Then you would want to stay in the area. Like if you wanted to visit Suwon, just stay in Seoul. It's an hour to an hour and a half, depending on what part. It's even like faster, like 45 minutes if you just take a taxi. But if you were planning on, say, visiting Busan, yeah, don't stay in Seoul. You technically can do, and I've done a few times, a trip where you wake up at 5 in the morning, you take a train at like 8, you get there before lunch, you hang out, you leave back at like 6 or 7, you could do it. But if you're planning on actually visiting Busan and doing stuff there, more than just eating and meeting someone, yeah. So 2 hours, if not move. Steep roads in Incheon. Yeah, steep, yes, the streets. Yeah, Incheon is another experience. I've only been there a couple times. It was very interesting. I have I guess a friend, one of my subscribers, came to my fan meetup. We met up in Incheon, and he posted the video on his channel as well. You can go check it out. I think I posted to it also in my Discord. There's a link somewhere. You can find it. Anyway, his name's Ash, and he also put a video. We filmed that in Incheon. Other than that, I don't really go to Incheon because I don't know anyone who lives there. Trying to plan my May 27th first trip. Oh, nice. I'll have my fan meetup May 26th. I actually don't know. I usually do it in May though. Like I usually do it the first week I come here in May, which is like middle or toward the end of May. It might actually be like my fan meetup's like May 25th or something like that. Whatever the Saturday is before you're here. I don't know. I did that to you last time. Yeah, I didn't do it to anyone. It's just I don't have any time usually on the weekends when I'm in Korea, because the weekends are the only time that certain people can meet, not just other YouTubers, but like any family members or friends or Jeremy's friends. That's weekends the only time they can meet. So if I do a fan meetup, I can't. It takes up a whole weekend essentially, that whole Saturday. So I do it on the very first week I come here because I don't have anything planned usually the first week. It's too soon. People can't make plans that fast. But yeah, we'll see. And also the weather's nice. If I do it in the first week, it's not too hot yet since the meetup's outside. May of 2027. Yeah, I mean, of course, it can't be May of 2026 because you'd have to have a time machine. And if you had a time machine, you would tell me, wouldn't you? You would let me in on that. Once, at least. If Adobe's developing a time machine, blink twice, and I am your best friend. Yeah, not intentionally, Lancer. That's right. Not intentionally, of course. No, I would never do that. Never do that to you, Lancer. Yeah, the weather's still pretty nice, so that's why I always do it as soon as I can when I get to Korea. I did a fan meetup once in like the middle of June. I just remember it being really hot and having to stay in the shade. And if we want to hang out for like, the fan meeting's usually 2 to 4, I think it is. Yeah, I think I do 2 to 4. If we're going to be hanging out 2 hours outside, I film a quick video, sign everyone's arms, eyeballs, all that stuff, and then it can't be too hot to do that. Maybe I already told future Adobe ambassador you, which is despite being in your live chats. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully you'll share with the rest of the world. Yes. You have a nice smile. What about my frown? Everyone's like, Billy, you have such a nice smile. No one ever compliments my frown. Don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, that's a wrap for today. I need to go eat something. It's now almost noon and I haven't eaten today. I don't know if chicken. I'll see what Jeremy's doing. I don't know if he wants to get chicken today. Okay, Nikki. Oh God. Yeah, I enjoyed that movie. And what was it? I can't remember what he called her. Anyway, good smile, mid frown. Oh, okay, thanks. That makes me feel better. Yeah, maybe I'll get some chicken with Jeremy if he's not busy. If not, then later this week I do want to get something with Jeremy. We're gonna spend a couple days together, doing a couple filming videos later. Anyway, thanks for coming, for joining me on this trip to the Suwon Fortress and the palace and the chicken street and the secret dragon pond, and we did a lot of stuff today. Yes, I'll see you guys again back when I'm in the US. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.